as stray dog attacks in Telangana's Mahabubabad left 14 people injured, including children. And that's not all. In Telangana itself, an 8-year-old boy, according to a canine biting spree attack, the 8-year-old boy was mauled to death. Now, in Hyderabad, a delivery person had a narrow escape from a pet Doberman, which resulted in severe injuries because, well, as visuals will put it, the delivery boy had to jump off a 3rd floor. Now, these incidents highlight the urgent need to address the stray dog problem. Considering the tragic death of an 8-year-old boy that I was just talking about, this being reported from Kazipet in Telangana just a few days ago. Now, we are going to delve into the reasons behind the abundance of stray dogs in India. We're going to try and assign responsibility and explore potential solutions to this ongoing crisis. Ashna ji, how are you looking at this situation? If you heard my question, how do you think we should approach this stray dog situation right now?
Whatever has the incident happened, that was very shocked and saddening because we cannot afford getting a lot of childs into this, and then every day we hear a lot of stories that dog haul the children, then dog bites the taxi driver or the Ola rider. So what I personally feel is we have to think about it that as you mentioned that the Doberman tried to just bite the delivery guy. So what the only solution I find is one needs to try and adopt the Indian street dog rather than keeping the lot of expensive foreign breeds, because those are meant to be kept for security, and then that's a nature that they'll be biting for their protection. So what I particularly feel is there's a dire need to adopt the Indian streeties, because the one and only reason of Indian street dogs hauling towards each other is they die of hunger, they sleep, they sleep they have sleepless nights because of no access to food and water, and this changes their behavior, and then they get aggressive, and this is the main cause what I personally find that they bite.
But I mean, like personal gratification as well, Ashna. Some people don't necessarily want to give the dog a good life. Some people just want a stuffed, live animal at home, a showpiece as it were. People are buying dogs these days just to get famous on Instagram. I mean, how are you going to put this idea forth to them that, look, I mean, we're showcasing these visuals. Take a look at how that street dog is going after this lady. Who's going to bring this particular dog back to their home? I mean, of course, you will have people in society, the real good Samaritans that I was talking about. People will want to bring, rescue these dogs from various shelters, try to give them a good life. We already have so many stray dogs, like you pointed out. But I mean, the decision is so personal, it is so subjective, it is so unique to each person. How will you promulgate the idea? How do you put this thought? How do you in their heads that let's go for street dogs, let's not go for hybrid pet dogs that look good on Instagram, but we're not necessarily helping these voiceless animals, our furry friends.
So there's always a saying, one should not go to the real life, but they should look after the real life. So same as with the Instagram people, just because they want to get famous. So this is not a thing. When you just get the real life, you can see they are doing a lot of stunts, and then they are a happy puppy to keep and everything. But if you look at the real life, because I've got a lot of friends, those like their dogs are dog influencers on the Instagram. So when I see the real life of the person, they are getting trained, and then there's a term called as compassion. So when you are compassionate towards animals, though it be any breed, I'm not talking about the Indian breed, though it be a Doberman, though it be a Rottweiler, which are considered to be a very the aggressive breeds amongst the dogs. So there comes the point when you get acclimatized to the real world. So you'll have to show compassion, otherwise dog won't understand the language. Though it be any animal, they won't understand the language that go sit or do not bark me, do not bark on me, do not bite me. So there goes the word. If we be compassionate towards animals, if we show kindness, so we'll be getting the kindness in return. They won't bite.
Sir, what's your outlook on the recent cases that have happened in Telangana? You've got 14 people who are injured, an 8-year-old boy that was mauled. Earlier in Greater Noida and Noida, we saw cases. Kerala was, in the limelight for the stray dog menace in Palakkad, especially. What's your essential outlook towards it? I mean, you're an animal activist, and like my first question to you, the community is divided. So how does one approach this situation, this stray dog menace, the stray dog crisis in our country?
When you say community, you're only talking about 5% of those people who are feeding these dogs. And 95% of this nation is suffering. One. The ABC program is something like 27 years old. It has completely failed. It has not seen any results because it's plagued with corruption. It's in the hands of governments and private NGOs, etc. Now, let's look at the 2001 rules, which was amendment which was brought in with the ABC, animal birth control rules. That rule was not even tabled in the parliament. It was not implemented. Let me come to the 2023 rules, which is nothing but a sugar-coated version of 2001. Now, this sugar-coated version, they want Resident Welfare Association to feed dogs. They've given a new name for the dog as community animal, thinking that will be hunky-dory and everything will change. Nothing is going to change because last 6 years, we have had almost 4.5 crores of dog bites across India. You vaccinate all those people, a 2,000 rupees vaccination you need to give, that will amount to 8,200 crores. This is corruption. This is what's gone to the pharma companies. That is the reason you have certain NGOs, the Animal Welfare Board of India, which is turned rogue, I would say, because it has only worked for the interest of the foreign NGOs and foreign funds. You see the recently concluded Jallikattu case, where the case was between Animal Welfare Board of India versus the Union of India. That is the biggest joke. Because that board turned rogue for 20 years ago, and it's in the hands of a member of parliament in Delhi, and it is getting misused. So whatever the AWBI brings in, even this current rules, this will be thrown in the dustbin very soon by the courts across India for a simple reason. It takes away the rights of people to live without fear. And the number of dog bites, it's rising. 22 lakh dog bites in Tamil Nadu in last 1 year. Can you beat that? And that's the kind of, dog bites you're seeing across India.
And those bitten include children and senior citizens as well. And if your points are anything to go by, it seems like at the bottom line, there is a corrupt administration, people trying to exploit the loopholes in the legal system to their advantage. Is that so? Is that so? Essentially a case of money going to the dogs.
Yes, the money is supposed to go to the dogs. It's not going to the dogs. It's going to the pockets of some people. Now, having said that, see, the current issue right now is, we need to get rid of this. See, the animal activists or the community which is being, only 5% of the people are coming and defending them. 95% of the people don't even talk about this. They are not talking about this. And how many dogs are these dog feeders feeding? Not even 5% of the dog, 95% of them.
Going forward, the future steps, Prime Minister Modi in his Mann Ki Baat address, I remember, a couple of years back, spoke about how people shouldn't discriminate the Indian, dog breed and start really adopting and rescuing the Indian dog. What's the way ahead? What are some first crucial steps that we can take in curbing this dog menace?
See, first of all, let me talk about Narendra Modi ji's, speech. When he said we should have Indian dogs, people went to each and every corner, brought in all the hounds and tied them up inside apartments. These hounds are hunting dogs. They need to shed their energy. They are, fast runners. And that itself amounted to cruelty. So first of all, we need to understand which dog is for what purpose. Only then we can decide, where to breed in. And the solution going forward is government should open up shelters, because this is not going. Any progressive country in the world has dogs in the street. Because it's not only a cruelty for the dogs, it's also harmful for the human beings. As I said, the 5 freedoms. One is free food and water, clean food and water. Second is no fear from, any kind of threat. Today, the dog is always scared. Somebody is going to pelt stone at them. Somebody is going to run over them. Next is thermal or any environmental, reasons like, cyclone or severe summer. They shouldn't be suffering of all these. And last but the least, and they should not have any injuries, from this. From losing limbs and becoming blind or whatever and suffering. I saw a dog other day in Noida running with 3 legs. I'm not sure why that dog should be alive, because such peak summer, no food to eat, and what will happen to the dog? And if you have all the 4 freedoms, the 5th freedom is to exhibit normal behavior. The dogs now are not exhibiting normal behavior because they have been abused. That is why they are hunting in packs, they are killing. You missed out one point. We have to speak about the number of wildlife these dogs are hunting and killing. You go to any wildlife sanctuary, there are packs of dogs hunting deer and all the other herbivorous animals, rabbits, etc. They are hunting kids, they're hunting elderly, they're hunting wildlife. It has become a nuisance. People are getting outraged and people are showing their anger towards street dogs, beating them up, killing them, poisoning them. So it is actually detrimental for the street
Mr.
dogs. They
Muralidharan,
should be taken into shelter.
how is the forest department tackling that particular situation? Could you throw some light on that as well? Because the forest department, a department that's well versed with the behavior and the tendencies of various wild animals as well. Organized crime, running in packs, hounding and attacking in packs. How's the forest department tackling this?
Forest department is also, see, they also have their own set of, apathy, they really don't care because, if they really care, you won't believe Tamil Nadu Forest Department brought 4 dogs, for wildlife crime control. First of all, you should not let dogs inside the wild because you have big cats there and these dogs can carry distemper, which is a dreaded disease, into the wild. First of all, the dogs have no business inside the wild and the forest department should stop it. But forest department had, they adopted 4 dogs whom they are training to go after crime control, which is wrong. So there are set of, challenges everywhere, but overall, street dogs being in the street, it's cruelty to them, it's abusing them, and you need to take them out, put in shelters. And all these dog lovers who, they can go there and ensure these dogs are taken. Government shelters are not really going to care. We know the conditions of most of the shelters. So the animal lovers, the feeders, that becomes their responsibility. They can form small communities, take turns, go and inspect and monitor these shelters and take care of these dogs. So there is a solution. But how will they want to do it? No, because the biggest NGOs in the country are in the hands of the pharma companies. 8,000 crores is what I told you, only because of dog bite accidents, the vaccination. Then there are other surgical accessories, etc., dog food, etc. That market is probably $1 billion in India. So that market is what is driving street dogs. See this the photo you're showing now. Street dogs have been given dry food. The dry food is harmful for their kidney if they don't drink enough water. These street dogs do not have enough water. So these are things people, do. So this is a mafia. I will call it a mafia. And this mafia had to be brought down. Unfortunately, some of our courts have been very lenient and there are judges who have been dog feeders. So they've been kind saying that, no, let the dog be in the street. No, sir, I'm sorry, my lords. The dogs have to be in shelters. They need to be cared and they need to be loved. A dog is a pet animal. Let's understand that. And they have no business to be in the streets. And a homeless dog is a deranged concept and it should be stopped immediately. And I hope the animal husbandry, Mr. Rupala, the minister, takes notice of this because he didn't even know the current rules which were passed for ABC and it is completely flawed and it's anti-animal rights, human rights, etc. Unfortunately, the Animal Welfare Board of India, as I told you, which has turned rogue, has passed these rules without the knowledge of the minister. So these things have to be exposed and this has to be fixed.